All right, Mikey, we're live on this Monday. Good morning, Michael Knight.
Oh, my ear.
Uh, I, as I said, good morning, Michael Knight. um,
I want to go to the same church that Eileen Cannon goes to, where people get that 1,000 yard look in their eye before they do something illegal, terrible, and extracurricular. I
well,
just don't
yeah,
know.
it's so frustrating. Almost no words for it. By the way, I'm New York Vinnie. He's Michael Knight, or he's Michael Knight, and I'm New York Vinnie. We're every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with us about the goings on. So you could imagine that today will be an interesting show. Um, to
It was
say the
all going to be
least.
about Donald Trump, but now it's going to be about Donald Trump as an alternative. The man that the law can't touch, that bullets can't penetrate, that court cases avoid, that political parties bow down to, that entire populations of the nation owe allegiance to. The guy that wears the same suit and red tie every day has taken over our culture, our law, our media, and our politics. And nothing can stop him or touch him or dissuade him. Nothing.
And what happened on the weekend did as much as it could. And for those of you who may have been under a rock, in close to my city of Pittsburgh, Butler, Pennsylvania.
I thought that you had been to Butler, Pennsylvania. I
Oh
said
yeah,
Vinny's been there.
yeah, no, I've been to the exact spot where he was shot. That complex there. In fact, the Jeep factory, I believe, is the Butler Works factory is right a couple of blocks away in that same kind of complex there. Anyway, um, and a kid, and I mean he's as a 20-year-old kid, I hardly could call him a man. Was to from Ethel Park, which is the next neighborhood over from where I lived in Mount Lebanon.
So he was your neighbor.
So he was a neighbor, yeah. Um,
That neighbor
Ethel
kid who was
Park.
always treated poorly in school.
It seems that again we have a situation where someone was bullied, and he just said, "Well, you know what? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here, and I'm gonna get myself famous, and I'm gonna do half of America."
As it
Oh,
turned out, he didn't do any of the things that he set himself out to do.
well, as people rarely do.
Yeah.
These idiots that have guns rarely do set out to do what they want to do unless they're in the woods and hunting. And the only reason they get to do it there is because they have a machine, a piece of metal than the deer that they are hunting or the
Oh
piece of
dear.
meat that they're going after. So I for me, and let's put all the and I don't like Trump rhetoric aside for a second. I don't know how you can have a rooftop that close to a controversial figure like Trump and somebody on it.
As we found out during the testimony for the January 6th investigation and the Mueller investigation, the the group that was part of the detachment from the Secret Service that was loyal to Donald Trump were an odd group, and they were getting rather stranger as their influence with Trump continued. Some of them left the Secret Service and worked for him as private security people. Some of them refused to testify as to their actions on behalf of the president. for them to be now accused of letting the wall of security around the president lapse in a very serious way, giving the high ground to a shooter with no one assigned to that position, seems incredibly strange. It seems like it's going to be the fruit or the root of future conspiracy theories to come.
Oh yeah, without doubt, without a doubt, this is going to bring out every conspiracy theorist in the world, and I got to be honest with you, rightly so. Um, I mean, it's either a conspiracy or you're so stupid that you
Well,
don't
everybody in the
investigate.
world, everybody in the world has had a press conference since the event, except for the Secret Service, who have nothing to say about anything.
It's just on me how you could have a lapse in security like that. And I know that Trump is a guy who likes to get with the people, and he's got that, that whole thing about getting close to people and signing hats and this and that and the other thing. But how do you let that happen? In a world today where there are I don't know, 390 million guns in our society, and many of them can kill you from a mile away.
If you don't have a gun, you can always take your dad's gun. He's got one.
Yeah, where access to guns is a sit away in misses, where people don't keep their guns even locked up.
And in Butler, Pennsylvania, in a rural area of the state, most people do have guns. It's an open carry state to begin with, but in that neighborhood, you would expect most
Right,
rural
right. In
inhabitants to
that
have a gun.
right in that part of Pennsylvania, that piece of Pennsylvania, Butler is not a small town; it's a city. It's a small city, but it's a city. Now I don't know what the particular is in Butler, but long guns, it's a state that hunts. It's a state that gets out into the woods. It's a state like Washington where people value their freedom to have these types of guns. Now I know in Pittsburgh and in Mount Lebanon and in Allegheny County, you need a carry permit for a handgun. I don't think you know that you do in Butler County, which is the next county north of Allegheny, which wouldn't apply in this case anyway, because the guy was walking through the streets with a long rifle, with a long gun, with a big rifle, and
On
people
a, on a,
were pointing to him and seeing him and saying, "Look."
the guy's got a gun.
I don't, I, I
All
don't,
you
I
needed,
don't
all you
know.
needed was one cop on the roof to dissuade anybody like that
Yeah,
from taking further
I mean,
action.
how do you not have? I mean, if I were the campaign, I would have had paid guards up on the roof.
Put Marco Rubio up there.
Put somebody up there so that there's somebody up there at least to draw attention to this guy. I just, for the life of me, I just can't understand how you would let that happen. And again, put us for a second. The whole thing that we don't like Donald Trump, we don't like his policies, and we don't this, we don't like that. This is a political campaign, and this is political violence, and this is something that we have just become used to. I laugh at how many people over the weekend. Well, this is not the American way. Are you kidding me or what?
Yeah, this is totally the American way, right
This
down
is
the middle.
absolutely the American way. Ask George Wallace if it's not the American way. Ask Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King if it's not the American way. Ask Ronald Reagan if it's not the American way. Ask James Brady if it's not the American way. Come on. I I don't want conspiracy theories, Michael, but something stinks here. Something's not right. And I don't know, Michael. I mean, for all the rhetoric and all this is not how we're supposed to do it. And I don't know this. I mean, nobody knows, right? This guy, nobody says he has a political agenda. He's a registered Republican.
He had no agenda. In fact, he almost had no presence online, which is pretty
Yeah,
strange for a
yeah.
kid,
So it's not somebody
kid
that
of 20
can
years
say,
old.
we got to we have to look at this his radical political views or anything. This is not a Stacco and Vanzetti. Go look it up, kids. This is not this is not an Ethel and Julius Rosen. It's not somebody with an agenda. Seems I don't know. This is just some got his ass kicked in school a lot and said, "Well, I'm going to make my mark in the world as I exit."
The one hurdle that they can't get across is unlocking his phone because the phone providers don't cooperate with.
They actually, I just saw a little while ago that they locked his phone, gotten it open, and they see nothing in that phone to indicate any kind of political agenda.
He's a cipher. You know what they call that in the business? They call him a cutout.
Yeah,
That's what espionage would call this guy. A perfect citizen with no profile whatsoever. He's just a cutout. He's a
yeah,
walk-in. He's a creation.
which makes him probably the most likely person that you'd want if it was a right.
Well, you think if he got a conspirator at that level, that he would be a better shot.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm not leaning toward any kind of conspiracy theory with this. It's leaning on the fact that this elevates Donald Trump to a different place
Now he's not
among
just a prophet; he's a martyr.
right. This is exactly what you want to happen. You didn't want him to get hurt. You didn't want him to get a shot. You didn't want him. You wanted him. The one way that you were going to beat him and shut him up and make him go kicking and screaming into the night is to beat him resoundingly at ballot box. The option is still there, but boy, is it diminished.
The post assassination attempt, Donald Trump has yet to emerge. We haven't gotten to look at the new anger and righteousness, self righteousness that usually come with any Trump personal appearance. That's about to be unleashed on us. And there'll be a first wave of his supporters, with his permission, taking a new toll, taking a new line on their description of the race and the idea that America only can unite under Donald Trump. The idea of coming together as a nation appealed to him as long as they come together as a Trump nation. Not
Right.
the current nation, that one we can't, that's of no use to us, but a new Trump nation under Trump, under the man who escapes from the law, who escapes from death, who escapes from politics, who escapes from all accountability. The guy who's supposed to not be able to ever have responsible legal advice because he refused to pay his lawyers seems to have the best lawyers in history. There's no legal team that has ever achieved what this team has achieved.
It's
Complete and utter unaccountability.
nothing short of amazing. Legal
And
scholars are looking at this.
and you can't try to strike past him. He hits everything to the opposite field.
He's um he's the Babe Ruth of politics. I mean, he can pitch, he can catch, he can hit the ball.
He's the goat.
Yeah, I mean, he may be the biggest politician of all time. Give him his certainly the great marketer. That image of him with his fist up in front of the American flag as the Secret Service is shuffling him off. That will live in history.
Already.
That image will be on every T-shirt and campaign poster and television commercial. All they got to do is put that thing up there with the tagline "Trumpy fights for you," and half of America will buy it. Buy it. You couldn't have it better.
I'm sick to my stomach over the whole thing.
Yeah, I am too.
I look like Eileen Cannon looks in her high school graduation picture there that we see in all the television shots. That's
Has
how
this
I
woman
feel.
only taken one photograph her entire life?
That was it. When she may not actually exist. Did you ever think that she just could be an alien that's here from another planet to destroy us from within?
I've never seen somebody with one. I mean, there's got
She
to be
never
another photograph of her
she
somewhere.
never walks anywhere, she never drives anywhere, she never shops, she never goes out, she doesn't have any profile other than that one picture and some idea that she's in some courthouse north of Miami. The exact location unknown.
I yeah, I don't know what. And then on top of it, not only does he win by, on the weekend, I mean, he gets shot, he gets hustled out, and it's okay, but uh, you know, they're sitting in a room right there in Milwaukee trying to figure, well, how do we use this advantage? But then this morning they get the news that they've dismissed that Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida has dismissed documents case against him, saying that the special prosecutor has no skin.
Because we have the pictures of the actual evidence, that means there's no evidence. Those are just photographs. Those were just boxes that the FBI brought with them.
So it's a joke, and you know, take it to the, and I hope that I'm wrong here. The president has immunity over whatever he does when president. Then load them boxes into a truck.
That's
He's
nothing.
he's got immunity, right?
Official act.
He'll what he wants. If he can do what he wants when he's president, there's no repercussion, no penalty, no law that says you can't.
And even if
What
it
do you
is
got?
law that says you can't, you just appeal till there is no law.
Yeah, and that's what you have if you got money in this country.
As you continue to appeal, you actually pass the law like on the street, and now you're ahead of it. The law is behind you instead of in front of you. You're not responsible to it. You're responsible only to the memory of that law that used to be. There's no law there anymore. Doesn't apply to you. Next case.
What you have is now a situation where everybody's, it's if you got money, well, it's not now. I mean, it's always been like that. If you got money, if you got influence, if you got power,
The
you do
law
what
will step
you want.
aside. Yeah.
There's nothing you can't get away with. There's nothing away with in this
No,
country. Guys,
no amount of evidence will dissuade anyone, especially the judge. Now we know what the word judge means. We thought we knew, but now we're figuring out what it really means.
it means that it means that you can be bought, you can be sold, you can be put there by somebody. It's in essence, it's Mayor Daley Chicago. I mean, really, if you have an education of history, if you know anything about history, you know about politics, you know about Daley Chicago, Jimmy Walker's New York, Boss Tweed's New York, where if you know somebody rich enough, you can get away with everything. You used to talk about the robber barons all the time, railroad guys and the industrialists that would move mountains and get
And
legal things in their favor, the
it's
railroads.
it's an interesting name because they were robbers, but then they were rich robbers, so they became robber dash barons, the barons of the robbing class.
Yeah,
They weren't street side thieves; they were corporate thieves. thieves on an
Right.
extraordinary level, with a daily rate of theft that can't be imagined. They stole so much that they were stealing constantly, and that became an industry instead of a crime.
Exactly. They stole from little people, big people, anybody that they could steal from, anybody that they could hoodwink, anybody that they could, whether they be Indian or Chinese or black or white or whatever it is.
You're
They
just a
stole
thief.
from
No,
cities, stole
I
from
was
towns.
I was a thief, but now I'm past being a thief. I'm a robber baron, and that's a job description now.
If you steal enough,
It's an industry,
it's right. It ceases to be a crime. It becomes an industry
right?
because you then have. I mean, it's virtually we're virtually looking at the Godfather come to life, come to reality. You you can do what you want as long as you have the right people in your pocket. And we have that gives Donald Trump people in his pocket. We put him in a position to screw this country,
And he was happy to do it.
and he was happy. He was more than happy to do it. The embodiment of uh, does it suck every minute, and people will pay him to do it. They'll send $50,
We'll send him 50
$75,
more.
$15, $20. Well, he's using it to pay his legal fees. Well,
Someone's got to put gas in that plane.
I got a friend that's going to Milwaukee this week. He's not a delegate. He's not anything. He's just going to Milwaukee to be in
To be near the Godhead.
to be near the Godhead. And this is an intelligent, smart person who is a successful businessman, is a good guy.
But whose judgment is so warped that he can't see the way of his error.
Yeah, I mean, who believes that this guy is that Donald Trump is in essence the savior of our country. That the life that we live, that the situation that allowed him to become as successful has been, many business people, small business people have been. Um, Donald Trump is their last best. He's the great white hope.
It never occurs to them that he's the Antichrist.
You never see the devil when he comes, do you? Is he always disguised as something
It
else?
comes as a man of peace, according to Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Well, I guess Dylan got one wrong too, because he certainly isn't a man. Think of how many people. Think of this for a second, Michael. How many people, business people, Africans got millions of dollars in the COVID. The one Donald Trump did right is he printed up a ton of money and he handed it out to people. And you can say Joe Biden got us COVID, but he bought how many people Trump? How many people did he buy off? How many people said, "Well, you know, when I needed money, when I couldn't pay my rent, couldn't do this, Donald Trump Treasury sent me $1,500." That may not be true. Maybe true, maybe not true.
It's because everything attributed to Donald Trump may or may not be true.
Right.
Everything. Every element of his backstory. Every element of his cover story. But Vinny, since we started discussing whether Joe Biden should even be running for president, this country has fallen so far so fast and has taken haymakers to the chin day after day, with another one coming this morning. How are we supposed to survive this as a nation? How are we supposed to pull through and have an election? How are we supposed to even have Joe Biden put it together for long enough to make any more of his speeches where he can't finish sentences and claims that he's the guy who's going to take us to the promised land and that there is no alternative? As he said, it's not going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen because the Democrats don't even have a plan A, let alone a plan B. This is not going to work. This is not going to work as a race. The only thing that can save us now is Donald Trump overplaying his hand, thinking he's got the endorsement of the nation and the world because he was nearly killed. So he will say what he really believes, do what he thinks must be done, overplay his hand, and that's about all we can hope for, is that he becomes so convinced of his own invulnerability that he makes a terrible mistake that costs him the election.
Not sure that's going to happen.
Because there's nothing that law or the Democrats seem to be able to do to counter anything he does. So it has to be self-inflicted.
Yeah, we're going to get this 2025 project rammed up our butts. We're going to change the government,
Change the Constitution.
change the Constitution. The people that rely on Social Security and Medicaid and like that are gonna be
Republicans' idea of a pickup game is going to be just leave the bodies on the sidewalk. We'll get them as soon as we can. Not immediately, but we'll get them as soon as we can.
and the people who can afford to will get in their cars, get on their planes, get in their boats. The rich guys will go to Mars, and the little people who rent apartments every month and who um, are foolish and born will just wither away. Will start to stay here, and you'll probably turn on your TV set and watch reruns of Ozzie and Harriet and old game shows and just disconnect from it all.
How about The Apprentice on NBC? How would that be?
Nah, I don't think many people are going to be watching this.
It's a ratings winner, Ben.
And the people who for many years that this was what was going to ruin this country, was dangerous, will be laughed at.
Well, it won't be a country; it'll be a principality.
Yeah, it's a kingdom. You know, it'll go through every federal they can go through that doesn't benefit them, and they will make sure that the monies that go for the program to protect people will go now to the programs that protect the rich.
And you can buy a pardon ahead of the crime. You haven't committed a crime, but you have your pardon in your back pocket. So when you do commit the crime, you're free and clear. Paid for in cash.
Your best hope right now is to marry somebody from Canada. Your best hope right now. Go to some other country where I mean, and who knows how long that's going to work? Who knows how long it's going to be until they pass a law that you can't collect your dirty unless you live in America.
It'll be fun to watch the
essentially wall around for people that want to get out of here.
Nobody can leave.
right? You can't go. You can't go anywhere. You're going anywhere.
When you move to England, we'll come and get you. You move to Spain, we'll be there in next week.
Well, you
Don't
can go, but
unpack.
you better have cash. You better have your own money because the federal government is not going to fund you living somewhere else. It doesn't matter that you paid into it. It doesn't matter. But that's how we can make sure that people that stay here get a little something, and we can rock it. Yeah, it's not. Our last years, Michael, are not good.
You can't eat, but you don't have to starve.
Yeah, unless we can figure out a way to change this. And I don't know. I guess I don't know what you know. I mean, do you have confidence in Biden again?
I don't have
you know,
confidence that he can finish an important sentence.
yeah. I mean, you need this. This thing has now turned radical. It's into a street fight, and Biden is fighter. You need somebody at this point. And listen, I like Joe Biden. I think he's a great guy. I think that he's really what the country needs. But the events past weekend probably made what the country needs different than what Joe Biden can give it. You can't have
He was,
somebody
he
run
was down by 10
president.
points before the shooting.
Yeah, you can't have somebody running for president that looks weak. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but you have somebody who looks to have power.
Bleeding at the ramparts with the flag in his hand. And Jesus right behind him making sandwiches.
Yeah. It's nothing short of amazing. It's and I think what's going to happen also, Michael, is that regular people, see, regular people weren't, people we turn into, we look at this stuff all the time. We're always look. You can't turn away from it. That's why we do this, because we feel like we observe what's going on. But the average person is driving a truck out there. The average person's not tuning in like we're tuning in. They're going home, they're watching the Mariner game, or they're going home and they're watching, they're playing video games. That, and what this is going to do, I think, and it's just my opinion, is this is going to drive people toward paying attention to it.
Now they're interested. It's a bigger show.
Right. Now, all of a sudden, now, the only thing I guess that gives me some kind of hope here, maybe is that if you go back to war, and you have an eerily similar situation with Barry Goldwater, who was a Trump-esque kind of candidate,
Early Trump.
and Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was a seasoned politician, knew how to pull the right strings. But the country was primed for change back then. It had been through this traumatic experience, and it was a call to what Kennedy had started. I don't know that you have that
The Great
anymore.
Society.
Yeah, the war on poverty, the Great Society, but help people get up, give a safety net, take care of our people.
And there was one mistake that he made called the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
It cost him everything.
yeah. He listened to the wrong people. He listened to the Robert McNamara's of the world.
Yep.
He said the only way we can pull this off
Well, Trump
is
listens to
find a
nobody.
country that we can fill up with bombs.
The wonderful thing about Trump is he accepts no advice from anyone. He has no advisors. He has no one providing him with any ideas. He has plenty of his own. He theoretically has decided to rewrite his stump speech for the convention. Now, if you believe that, you'll believe that he never met that woman either.
Yeah, it's sad, Mikey. Sad, Mikey. It's we're I don't know. I just felt. I mean, I listen. I felt bad for Trump when he got shot. In that, I don't want to see anybody get shot in politics, or anybody get shot anywhere. Shot anywhere. It's just a disgusting thing that somebody could in our society do that. But if history has shown us anything, it's that you can kill anybody.
That's what history shows us.
So I don't know where it's all going to go. Um, I, I have. I mean, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch this Republican show here. That's going to be just a bowing down to Trump.
Carrying him on their shoulders.
Wouldn't be surprised if they put him on a. I don't know what they call those things that they put the Pope on and everybody carries him. I wouldn't be surprised that's how he came into the arena. I don't want to watch it.
I think we have to keep an eye on him.
Well, I hope that it's just to put up my antidepressants. I got to come up with a whole new antidepressant
I
regimen.
hope they're good ones because more of the old ones won't work.
Yeah, I got to figure something out. Cause I'm you I went riding in nature yesterday. I just went riding around and just doing what I love to do.
Donald Trump
Drive.
invented nature. You know that.
Excuse me.
Donald Trump invented nature. He was a creation of his. He made it the other day.
There's people that would have you believe, and let's face it. I love the. You know what I love? I love the fact that this morning, I don't know if you get them on your computer, but I get these like ads for TV, which is a Chinese website that sells everything for a quarter of the price, so they can get all your information. This morning they're advertising save 90% on survivor.
Survival gear.
So they have an armored vest, armored panties, a portable toilet, and 10% off of a it appears to be a grill of a small grill of some kind.
You can cook on it. It also stops bullets.
Yeah, that's what they're advertising this morning on Temu.
Well, they've got the American market sewed up.
And I'm tempted to click on it, but how much it is. But I know if I click on it, I'm gonna, they'll send me 9 million other ads about survivalist gear.
Just today.
Yeah, I'll get a ton of stuff. Busiest place today is going to be the Linwood Gun Store. I wouldn't be surprised if you drove by there at noon and there was a line
Have
outside.
they got a special going, or they increase their prices?
I'm sure. I'm, I'm sure they do. I feel bad for our kids, man.
I feel for the Brooks Brothers are selling Secret Service suits. The simple black Secret Service suit. Never needs ironing. Always looks smart.
See that Trump this morning called for the Secret Service to protect Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yep.
You
To,
know,
to further deplete the ranks of the Secret Service.
yeah, yeah, I don't know if it's such a bad idea anymore. You know, I used to think, well, yeah, I mean, he's going to take a shot at this guy, but just the fact that his name is Kennedy
That's enough.
is probably some idiot, right? Somebody going to go get this guy.
We were
Where
going
do
to
we
make
go
him
from
Secretary of
here, Michael?
we were going to
Where
make
do we
him
go?
Secretary of Education, but we're going to disband the Department of Education. Maybe we'll just disband public education as a rite of passage. You want to learn to speak English? You want to learn to read and write? Do it on your own. Be an American.
Why should we have why should we have educational standards?
I can tell you the truth about that, or I could lie to you. Which do you prefer?
Uh, um, well, you know, lying always,
It's the American way.
yeah, lying always hurts less. But when you're when you feel like something's dying, I guess the truth is the right.
It's going to be. This is going to hurt. Are you ready?
I don't know what I'm ready for, Michael. I don't know what I'm ready for.
We thought we were in trouble the first time Trump got elected. We really did. By the time he finished his inauguration, we were going, "What kind of crazy motherfucker is this?" And now we see that the trouble was just beginning, and it's gotten worse with every headline, with every element of our society poised to slow him down or stop him or hold him accountable for anything. Every element of it has failed. Everything that Benjamin Franklin put together was a joke.
Well, you get America gets what it right?
You got what we paid for.
We wanted to
Drain the swamp.
drain the swamp. The problem is when you drain swamp, sleazier things move in.
Things are revealed. Like on Mount Everest today,
There's an ecosystem,
yeah,
you know, that keeps the balance with everything. But if you take the rats out, well, then you get overrun with
fleas,
the fleas.
fleas everywhere.
If you take the cats out, or the tigers or the lions, you get overrun by something else. It's all a
Monkeys.
balance. It's all a balance. By the way, I noticed this morning that interesting. We're not being broadcast. You're usually broadcast on X or Twitter, but we're not on Twitter this morning because Twitter has decided, or X has decided that they want to charge for broadcasting on their platform.
They don't want a discouraging word to be heard.
Yeah, I don't know what the charge is or what the deal is. I'll have to look at it after we get off the air. But you want to be on Twitter, you're going to have to pony up cash. So we'll see how that works out.
Elon, thank you, Elon.
Yeah, thank you. You don't have enough money, so you have to get a premium account. And I just don't know that I want to give this guy.
A dime.
I don't know. We'll have to see how much it. We'll have to get sponsors or something. I don't know. I don't know if I can. I already paid for this thing. You know, the StreamYard. So it'll be uh it'll be interesting to see.
Vinny, I'll see you on Wednesday for a wacky Wednesday. And boy,
Yeah,
if
it
this
just
is a
doesn't seem
morose
to be that
Monday,
much more. You gonna watch the All Star game?
no. The A's
Yeah, I
hit
don't
eight
know.
home runs. There's nothing I want to see in baseball because the A's hit 8 home runs in a game. Their most ever since like 1952 or something.
Well, you know the good thing about that, Michael.
Only 3 guys were involved, however. 3 guys hit 8 home runs.
Well, it seems to me that maybe well, here is the ball juiced contract, and it'll take the minds off of everything. Maybe that's really what this is to go watch baseball games. Just watch baseball, follow baseball, and let the whole world going to do around you. Let the trees grow, love go, and and go to it.
It's pretty. It's a strange feeling I have about the future right now.
Well, well, Mikey, it's not as bad, I think, as I was just seeing if they flashed yet who the vice who do
Vice
you, yeah,
President
before we go, who do you think the vice presidential candidate is going to be? My money's on Vance.
Steve Bannon.
Believe me, if Trump thought he'd get away with it,
Is Richard Speck still alive?
well, they say he's dead, but
That's
I
what
wouldn't
that's
count on
what they want you to believe.
I wouldn't count on it. He's oh man. At least you had some I was going to say at least you had heroics, but in that the Secret Service people that were there, I mean, it's one guy, this fireman jumped on his family to shield them from the bullets. But if the election were held today, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, Biden 45% Trump in Pennsylvania and Virginia.
What's the numbers again?
48, 45 Biden in
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania and Virginia.
3 points is doable. It's almost within the margin of error.
Yeah, July 12th. So I guess this take consideration. Yeah, we'll see.
Tell
Well,
me again
a lot,
about the
a lot
Creek
of
ride
thinking
then.
to be done between now and the Democratic convention.
We haven't even got to the Democratic convention yet. That's going to be quite a show.
I hope so.
Back in Chicago again. If that isn't a flashback, nothing is.
Maybe they can bring back Mayor Daley. He's doing much these days.
Bring back the old saw. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching.
Where's Abby Hoffman when you need him?
I'll talk to you
All
Wednesday,
right,
Vinny.
Mikey. I will. Yeah, let's. We're let's try to be kind to each other, man. That's the best thing we can do. Is that you know, just
Stay in your
treat
lane.
people in our own world.
I'm going to
And
be on the 101 freeway today, so please, everyone, stay in your lane. Composure.
you're going to be on the 101.
Yep.
Luck, pal.
Going to Woodland Hills.
Be careful for the in the sky nightlight helicopter.
They're all blacked out. There we go.
Oh my God! All right, Mikey. I will see you on Wednesday morning, man. Take care of yourself. Hug your kids for me, and your daughter and your grandkids and your
I
wife. A good
will.
hug for me.
I definitely will. See
All
you,
right,
Vin.
brother. Take care. Thank you all for listening as well. See you on Wednesday, if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise.